Morning, guys. We are 10:30 in the morning on Sunday. I was going to do a video yesterday, but I was just finishing off my analysis and things. Not like loads that I've seen so far. I'm going to go through a couple though. What I do want to do is I do want to go through a couple trades that I had last week that were really, really good. Um, NU, I did catch a short. Not all the way down, admittedly, within here, and I only took it to these lows. Obviously, should have, would have, could have. Um, but it is what it is. Just off this fine imbalance, you can see fair value gap imbalance, all the same thing. So Asia, we came down. Well, first of all, I was looking for a zone up here because we'd swept this high. And I was looking for a zone back up here to fill some of this, but we didn't get it. So price came down, we pulled up, we tested, came down again, pulled up. We tested, this was my entry. Stop just above the body. And my take profit was only to here. So that was just a small little nice trade. I was looking for re-entries, and then you can see it kind of just fell off going into the week, but that's fine. But obviously, had I'd held all this way, I won to 17, but I wouldn't have anyway. I would have, the most I would have held is maybe to this low because we were over bullish at the time. So now price is broke, that's fine. Um, AUD no, let me do the trades that I did first. So that was NZD USD. I had a super clean GBP JPY trade. Price had broken, but let me go. So price was here. And I said, okay, cool. I want to definitely see this whole range kind of filled out. Uh, so I wanted to see this whole range get filled out, and nice psychological level 9,500 was what I was eyeing up. Coordinates. Okay, cool. So I was looking in here and I was thinking, where is price most likely to react from and continue? Well, we can see we had this small shift here. Price came down and we tested within this whole fair value gap zone. And you can see, even though price had wicked below it, it's actually the bodies that mean something. And you can see we came right up into the 50%, closed, didn't break below the 50%. Amazing. So now we're just looking for some kind of clean push to the upside. Now, you would have not been wrong if you were looking at this zone, and I did and was eyeing up this zone. But the first zone that I was eyeing up was this major zone of volume. You can see we have a really, really nice imbalance within here. What I was looking at, I was just taking up here, and I was covering this whole zone. So I had my entry that was here, and my target, which was this around like this Asia high. So I had my entry at the top, stop loss just below this low was like 60 something pips. I think it was around there. And I think my take profit was literally here. So really clean 1 to 3. What we can do is we can just play that out. So that was our entry tag. And then you can see price pretty much just ran. I did get in on another entry in and around here, I believe, after the New York opened, after London opened. So price came in and we filled, or we came across and we filled this massive big move in here. I was looking anywhere within this fair value gap. You can see price came in, and then going into NFP, then we pretty much just moved kind of all filling this zone. Did price come up and hit the cycle level? Yeah. Okay, so we eventually come up, we hit that cycle level, and we eventually took out this Asian high. I pretty much took mine out just as it was kind of, I think I took it out just before it hit TP. I took it out when this big move happened. I took it out. Um, so that was really, really clean on JPY. And then what I will do, I will go over kind of what I'm looking for again in this week. So UK 100, I had a really, really, really nice clean trade off a 5 minute. Haven't done a video about this, so this is what we're going to do. So beginning of the week, we came down and I was first looking to see if we were going to get some sort of reaction from here, which what we got within here. And now you can see price, we came in, we tested, and after this, we quickly started shifting momentum. That for me is a nice clean break of structure. Anyone can think what we're going to be looking for within here. For me, I was looking at this guy in here. So even though we didn't have like an actual test off here, I was keeping in mind that we did have this whole imbalance region. So when I was looking at it, I actually took my entry off the same point as this wick. And now the only reason why I took this is off the same point as this wick is because this was kind of near enough or just in and around 50% of this imbalance within here. So my long was right off this, and my stop loss was just below this low, and I was targeting this Asian. Actually, no, I wasn't. I was targeting this inverted fair value gap within here. So I was quite confused why price never actually came and took out this Asia high. We came down, we broke, we literally just took this wick, but we didn't take the high, nor did we take any of this liquidity resting above here on a 30-minute time frame. You can see we did have this wick that was waiting to be taken, but we did get that taken later on going in the week. But I did manage to catch this just up into this fair value gap. And one thing I've noticed about UK 100 is it moves really well in all session times. So you can see like this is Asia session, like we run this triggered going in 1 o'clock Asia session. We came in coming into London. There would have been another entry opportunity had you had taken it. I didn't take this stone, but it's fine. Um, oh, what time frame is this on? Mm, I had it drawn off on something. Can't remember. It was within here. I didn't take it though anyway. I think it was just in a fair value gap, honestly. It might have just been even just this zone in here. Yeah. I didn't take this though. But there was other entry opportunities, obviously. So really, really clean. We came in, we tested, and then we continued. If we go on a 15-minute, you can see the 50% of this 15 million balance is where this wick lines up. So for me, that was looking really, really nice. So entries ran, we came up, came all the way back down, and I was still looking for us to come in and test this low zone in here. And then price came down and we tested that overall 5 minute zone again, and we ran all the way to the top side. So for me, I was like, okay, cool. I want to see if we are gonna continue pushing higher. I want to see if we could get a test within this fair value gap. We did, we failed, we pushed back down, and then we just came to take out this wick lower. So daily and the thing that's kind of happening with the news, the pound, even though the pound has been getting stronger, there is some news that potentially the pound can weaken. If the pound weaken, that means UK 100 weakness. I am still looking for this last high to get taken, and I do want to see if we can dig somewhat up within here a bit more. But again, I will wait for next week to kind of see what we do get. But just kind of what I'm looking for now is we have a super clean inverted value gap in here. And the for me, the inversions are the ones that I think hold it the nicest. So overall, I am looking at this overall buy volume candle, which happened on NFP. If we go into an hourly, what was it on one? Maybe on two. No, okay. So this whole zone is this 1 minute buy volume candle in here. And that's going to be our main focus of where the imbalance actually is. We do have a slight imbalance within here, and obviously a bit lower down, going 5 minute. There was something that I've obviously drawn up on the 15 minute. Maybe it was just this 1 minute then. Yeah, this 1 minute. So potentially looking to see if price can come down anywhere within here. We do have a 15 minute for value gap inversion as well, which is here. So, and we've had a big shift in momentum. And because technically we did shift below here, this is now going to be our breaker because this is the point. Sorry, it's on the screen. Because this is the point where the market was buying and then selling off. So this whole big major zone is something we can really look for. And if I probably won't place this straight off here, what I will wait for is if price comes down and then we start raiding and we have this nice shift, or we actually come down, we raid some liquidity, we have that nice shift, and then we have that nice fair value gap and price starts coming up, then we'll be looking to enter stops, come back down, and then continue. That is what I'm gonna want to be waiting for going into next week. Obviously, Sunday is always a little bit harder to do analysis, I think, because we have an idea that price could come down here. Well, that's what I'm expecting price to do. But equally, price could just move and the whole analysis changes. So I feel like doing analysis on a Monday is always better, personally. But yeah, so this is UK 100. Only kind of had one real nice opportunity on this last week, but that's all you really need in trading, just that one nice opportunity. So if you, as long as you're kind of willing to wait for them, which is again is always the hardest thing, I know personally myself. So yeah, UK 100, let's see what kind of reactions we get in and around this zone. So Ethereum, we kind of really died off going in and from last week. We created a really nice fair value gap within here. You can see price just pretty much sold hard off this zone, and I definitely want to see if we can get some sort of reactions back up into here. 3 day, we've come into a nice zone, but again, we actually do have higher up targets, which I do want to see get taken. I don't particularly like these lows generating. You can call that the S&T, whatever. If you guys trade ICT, that's fine. Um, so that could very much, well, still be valid. We do still have a little bit of liquidity resting here, but let's kind of just go from what we're looking at so far. So I'm expecting price to come take out this Asia high 4 a.m. And I want us to dig more into this 12-hour zone. So even psych level. Uh, so that's basically where my take profit is 25,000. So we can still mark that out, 25,000. And that's going to be where my overall target is going to be for the time being. Obviously, I know we could actually push massively a bit thicker and deeper into this zone. Um, so let's just kind of see what we get. So for the here and now, you can see we had really nice play. What we had, we've had market came down, we're stalling, we are breaking lows, sweeping, sweeping, sweeping. This is our last sweep going into London, oh, into New York, sorry. Where are we? 4 o'clock, yeah, New York, end of London. Asia high, we broke out of that. Now we're generating some really, really nice liquidity within this zone. You can see we have our lows resting at the bottom. So what I would like to see is, again, what I was speaking about before, going into Asia session, we had a really, really clean um, fair value gap, which is in here. You can see price, we came in, we tested, then we push and springed. So now on the 30-minute zone, you can now see I have a another fair value gap, which is in the 30-minute, but we also then have this red zone. We also have this now gray zone, which is our inverted imbalance. And that for me is going to be what I want to be looking at the most within kind of in here. So if price wanted to pull back and give us some longs anywhere within here, our OTC zone is really clean. So I do want to see if price is going to, where are we? Uh, where was this? Okay, so Saturday, all within here, we've literally just been chopping. So I would like to see if we can get that choppiness and then going into the week is what I am expecting and hoping for. Only first targets to be the 5 2000 zone. Um, that is fine. I don't want to rush and take that anymore. Hold on, what I will do is Friday. Don't trade the weekends because my broker doesn't allow me. Um, let's go. Okay, so we have all of this playroom, and I would not even be surprised if price came down and raided going into Monday morning. That would be really clean for us. So yeah, Ethereum, that looks really, really nice. 30-minute setup off of this zone. What really so about a three and a half R on this, which would be what's this? Yeah, 3.5 R. That's looking really nice for longs continuation up into this Asia high. Bitcoin, looking at the exact same thing. I first was looking for a sell off of this imbalance zone. We never got that. That is fine. What we have done though is we have come into kind of a major zone within here. You can see this is a massive area of supply and demand. And you can see again where we have these massive big fair value gaps. Price does stay and respect them in and around, which is really, really nice to see. Obviously, could even maybe see slightly higher prices, but I would not be surprised if we kind of did die off slightly. But just for the here and now, longs for me is definitely on the cards. Again, exactly the same setup as Ethereum. Um, we had manipulation, manipulation, manipulation. Price came back up. We filled fair value gaps in here. We came down Asia. We tested, broke up into end of New York, end of London, and then Friday, boom, now we're here. So this isn't as much of a great risk reward, only a 2 to 6 8, which is still fine. Still waiting for this liquidity to hold and for price to give us a run and push back up into the top side. Again, two really, really nice opportunities that I'm looking for next week. So hopefully we can get somewhat of those played out. We do have this daily zone in here, 12 hour. Again, we do have this higher up zone. But I do want to just wait and have a bit more confirmation of what we are going to do with some of these pairs. So let's go. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Cool. Bitcoin, nice setup. Um, I would probably like a little bit more risk to reward off this. But if I'm going to be honest, if your setup is only what your setup is, then take it because you're probably going to be more profitable taking one to twos and one to threes and one to fours consistently rather than trying to like catch some like crazy RR, which is like a 1 to 12 or something. So don't feel like, oh, if it's a lower R, then it's a bad trade, because it's really not. And if you're, like I said, if you're doing it consistently, that's literally all that matters. So Bitcoin, that's looking quite nice for some longs, same as Ethereum. Um, Pound JPY, honestly, I have no idea. Well, I don't have no idea, that's a lie. Do want to see if price could maybe come back and fill anywhere within this fair value gap zone and take out this high. But unless I've had some real strong confirmations on this, it's going to be a slightly bit more difficult for me to give a bit more judgment. So I am going to sit on my hands on this one. AUD JPY I was looking at, nothing crazy. I was just kind of looking for that imbalance zone. No, NZD JPY. Whenever I do my analysis, I do like just go to flick through um the whole zone, most of the pairs, and kind of just see if there's anything interesting. But most of the time I'm trading these like more liquid ones. I didn't trade I didn't take this NU. That would have been a really nice setup as well. Would have been more of a swing trade though. Again, probably slightly less RR, but I don't mind taking trades that are slightly less RR if it means I'm going to be more consistent. So nice 1 to 3 can target this high, this Asian high. That's what I was targeting. Didn't take this. Didn't even know this played out. But there we go. The strategy works. GBP and ZD is another pair I was looking at. I wasn't 100% sure what could maybe happen. We do have this fair value gap in here, which is in and around the 50% of this zone, which does line up previously with this other fair value gap. Um, Not one of my cleanest trades for the week. Doubt I will even take this trade, but just an idea. For me, most of the dollar board I do want to wait for, because there is kind of ways it could go here or there. Um, so honestly, just for the time being, I mean, even though there's not really a massive setup on UK 100, this is one of like the tr pairs I trade the most. So I'm always going to have this up here. Ethereum, that for me is looking really clean. I like this one. Same with my Bitcoin one. I like this one. I was also looking at AUD USD. Now, this is really does depend on how the week goes and how we develop. Um, I've always wanted to see this low get traded back into, because this is where we had that big news and things like that, and then price just absolutely like ran. I want to see if price can come back up within this zone. Now, if we do, that means we could still be valid for some longs. Was looking off here, was looking to target down here. That's almost a 1 to 5. Fantastic. Um, we had straight, just clean tests off this zone. We had a fair value gap in here, which held and hot, and then you can see we broke, we came up, we tested, and then we continue lower, and then you can see we had this small guy that price did come in and test from. So now I want to see if price can come back up and fill all of this nonsense. Um, we had no sweep of liquidity all within here and this NFP high. So if price is gonna want to kind of stick and hold this, I don't like these small lows below here. And we have a lot of imbalance and things that need to be filled within this zone. I think I was looking at something, yeah, on 15 minute. I mean, honestly, you could probably go and take this whole zone. Um, but for me, I was looking at this inversion that's clean. To be fair, I might even Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the whole zone. Hmm. Let's check time frames. Go hourly. Okay, so hourly we do have this imbalance in here. Let me just flip down quick time 35, 30, 65. I think for me, it's gonna have to be off the, yeah, cool. So obviously this is now where if price is gonna want to push high. I mean, in all honesty, even though we had this big move to the downside, we are bullish. We are bullish. So what could we see? Well, we've had this fair value gap in here tested, and then price just sprang, and then we ran. So if price wants to dig, if price opened, came up and came down, maybe I'd be a bit hesitant on that because that's quite a big, strong sell-off and just a small, big retracement for price to go up, down, to then back up again, which I mean, we could do. This is the market. Literally anything can happen. Um, but more as an overall, what I probably would like to see more is if price trickled back down and then we got some sort of push, fair value gap, and then we can trade and just look to take this high in here. That would be fine. If price then opens on Monday and we kind of start showing this retracement, um, we go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. Okay. If we do this and we go kind of like Monday, Tuesday, going into Wednesday, that's when I would look to see this move. And then we just have this trend line of liquidity, which is going to be taking out this liquidity and filling this fair value gap within here. Or if price goes Monday, Tuesday, and going into Wednesday, then we actually see some sort of shift, a sweep, and some sort of fair value gap. That's then when I'll look to enter and then just run out this top side. So we do have a lot of things and a lot of ways price could go. Equally, price might not want to respect this, or I would have my first targets here definitely, but obviously bearing in mind we're bullish. So realistically, that could be a massive swing. As long as let's go daily. High to low, that is within, that is going to be in discounted prices for us to continue pushing higher. So there would be no real kind of reason why price couldn't come in here and then actually continue running because I was waiting for price to come and fill something within this week and we have a massive imbalance still above this big zone in here and dollar is not looking too good for the Uno Memento. Um, so let's kind of just carry out and see what we get. So a potential ideas going in for next week, what we can do though, is we can just go and have a look at dollar just to see what dollar is doing. Um, I was just looking a bit more in here. Okay, let's go. Okay, so US dollar. Oh yeah, I wrote this down as like a little thing. So the first value you got opened at the beginning of the session is the highest probable one. So keep an eye out for these. Right. Dollar. What are we doing? Let's just weekly. We are looking pretty weak, people. Pretty weak. We have this low. Price has not taken any of this low yet. I can see we have a weekly supply zone within here, which price is probably going to want to look to trade back into. Daily, not too much. Could definitely come and fill something within here, but I doubt it. 12-hour, we are shifting above these highs, which is nice to see. We can refine this. Probably want to be looking to trade back into some sort of area in here. Let's go back on the daily. Daily, okay. So a couple of things could happen now. Obviously, we're shifting. Sorry, guys. We are shifting above this high. We are shifting above this high in here. So we could see only small major pullbacks and then the continuations. That means dollar, AU, we would see a small pullback and then continuations. That's fine. 3 day, 1 week. Let's go 4 hour. Honestly, 4 hours. Again, I really want to see a lot more conviction on this pair for the time being. We've actually broken and shifted above. So now it's kind of going to want to be seen if we are going to kind of continue or if this was actually just a raid and then we're going to want to start coming back down again. Um, so dollar is a bit tricky at the moment, or just for the Sunday close, just because we did have NFP. Um, but I really am going to be making these videos more consistent and actually start doing more sessions with people because they do actually help me as well. So that is just what I'm looking at just for the time being. If any of you guys got any questions about any of these, please let me know. Feel free to fire away and I will help everyone as much as I can. All right, guys. Bye bye.